What up? It's your boy, the Incredible Man. And yes, I am back at it again. And week in and week out, I constantly say that I love this anime. This is Fire Force Season 2, Episode 3 review, man. Let's get into it.
I don't think I do it good, no, I think I do it great. They would do it if they could, they can't do it so they hate. Everybody wanna look, but nobody wanna play. Stealing eyes.
Boy, oh boy. Every episode is better than the last episode. So much, like I constantly say, so much stuff, so much information, so much greatness, so much action, so much beautiful animation, color scheme, so much stuff goes into each and every episode, and it shows the hard work that they put into each and every episode. Oh my gosh, man. So this week picked up right after last week, and we see Shinra talking to the captain of the fourth, and everybody is pretty much caught up on everything, and they're still kind of just going over the facts and trying to make sure they got all of the correct information, because now we know that the lady that was inside of, well, that was controlling Shinra, is the very first pillar. She was there along, and she probably helped start the great cataclysm of 250 years ago, where like the fire was just destroying everything. She was there. She's the very first pillar. And then we have Homura, Sho, Shinra, and the new girl, Inika, that we see this episode. Inika, however you want to say her name, that we see this episode, which is the pink-haired chick that we seen in the opening. Now, it's kind of up in the air about whether we can trust her or not, because this whole episode, we got to reveal her character, and it kind of like she kind of snapped a little bit. We see a flashback about her, and she kind of snapped a little bit, and she was trapped in some fire, and she was like, "Oh no, I love the fire. I don't want." Then she realized that she didn't want to die, and all of a sudden, that's when she tapped into her powers. And also, we kind of break it down this episode and discuss her powers along with her two cohorts in her little gang. So this chick has powers that allow her to sense and smell a fire in the path of a fire before a fire takes place, in the path of a fire once it goes, like in explosions and stuff. And also fire soldiers and the evangelists. She can sense the heat from them as well. So her powers are actually really kind of cool, and they are wonderful in a fight, because she was just evading this dude this entire time, this whole episode, and she was just slightly moving away because she can sense the heat, and she just avoided the little path, and that is kind of cool. And what I love about it is because Shinra looks at her as like, well, I can't tell if she's good or bad, and then she looks at herself as, she's not bad. She just, because she saves the people, but she also does it for profit, and that's what Shinra is looking at. And we learned that like the Empire has been searching for her for a while now. So this has been something that was there from the jump. We're just really just now getting into it because she's the fifth pillar. Now, with her being the fifth pillar, and then her being attacked and chased this episode, we also see that her power kind of like officially manifested to where she can attack, because when we saw this whole episode, she wasn't attacking. She can only sense where fires were going to be held, and Maki was like, well, how is she doing that? That's her powers. And they should have realized that. I mean, there's no other way that could have taken place, but she kind of manifested her attacking part of her powers, and it's a start and a goal, and then she traces the line, and boom bam, an explosion takes place. Now the only thing is, she had the wrong kind of opponent, because this particular dude from the Evangelist is like a power-up type attack guy, and like her little start goal finish thing was not doing nothing. It hit him, but it had no effect. Shinra came in, and she sensed him and saw, like, okay, and oh boy, the animation, like when the fight started taking place, and like the effects of the fire and all this. Come on, man, this episode was straight fire. Like, it was fire. Fire Force was fire this episode, because it was just that good. And Shinra came in and tried to save her after she realized that the evangelists are up to no good, because they killed her friend. Like, they just ripped this dude. He ripped all of this whole section off this dude. The man was like, oh no, he's dead. And she was like, no. But the funny thing is because we see her realizing that, okay, well, this is dangerous now, even though she loves danger. But this is like a different scale of danger. And watching this whole episode, that's the only thing that was going on in my mind. I was like, well, you like danger, and you like having beings revolved around the fires and everything, but at the same time, when the evangelists come to kidnap you and take you, that's a whole nother level of danger. Like there's danger. Oh, okay. Well, I like to steal, and then there's danger like going out killing people and setting bombs in the real world and stuff. That's a different level of danger. And she came to that conclusion once she came in contact with the evangelist, and boy, oh boy. And they were going to kidnap her. Then Shinra comes in to save her and was like, well, I'm taking you into custody as well. She was like, I'm not, no, why are you taking me into custody? Granted, you are out here committing crimes. You're saving people, but at the same time, you're taking their money, you're robbing them. Well, I guess you can't really say robbing because they are giving it to her. But at the same time, you're stealing from these people, but you're saving them as well. So, like, you got to answer for what you've done. So, but that's not the reason they wanted to take her into custody. It's because she's the fifth pillar and they need the fifth pillar on their side. As of right now, the odds are against them because the eighth company has to work solo. And Victor made that very known this episode. He's like, there's all these fires and outbreaks and infernos and everything going on. And like, we're very limited to what we can do. And that goes to an earlier part of this episode, the politics of it. We see Obi meeting with the Fire Defense Agency guy. And he was like, well, without any definitive proof, we can't bring in the other companies. You guys have to handle this on your own. They've been on their own since the jump. And stuff is starting to escalate to a very high scale. They can't handle this on their own anymore. They need help. They have a few friends in the company. They have like the first company that's their friend, the second company, I think like the sixth company. There's a couple that's their friends, the fourth. But they can't handle this on their own. This is getting wide scale. The evangelists have a lot more men, especially, or women or whatever, like just a group in general, when dealing with just the eighth company themselves. But boy, oh boy, this fight, man, between Shinra and this dude, this man, he's like a power-up scale, right? And this man was just walking and he was causing explosions behind him. Shinra was trying his hardest and he wasn't doing nothing. But oh my gosh, it was so good. We see the eighth company rise to the occasion. The eighth company always gives me that feel like Black Clover. Like, like, oh, I love the Black Bulls. I love the eighth company. Everybody else is cool and legit in their own way, but it's these guys, and it's not just because we're focusing on them on the show. It's just because like they're such cool individuals, and I love, even if we weren't focusing on them in the show, I would still like these guys because like they're just such cool individuals. But this chick, man, it's so hard to weigh her as good or bad. I mean, she has power. She doesn't know what to do with them, and she just does what she wants to do with them. And that's the thing, like, with power. Like, if you got powers one day, you just woke up with powers, what would you do? Would you go out and try to save the world? And then you got to look at it as, like, the cops see you as a vigilante, and the military probably want to take you and experiment on you, or you just take and do whatever you want to with your powers, and then you're still looking at the same possibilities, even if you were to just be a good guy. So it's half full and half empty at the same time, but she does what she wants to with her powers. But now that she's the fifth pillar, all these people, the evangelists want you, and the fire force, the fire company, they need you because like they are outmatched and outnumbered against the evangelists right now. So they need that other pillar. And I'm so shocked because I didn't notice that the first pillar is the one, like she even gave Shinra the heads up that the fifth pillar is about to be awakened. And then the visuals and the colors for this episode were absolutely fantastic. And I cannot wait for episode 4 because this season is going off from the beginning. The beginning. This is only episode 3 and it's going off the rails like crazy. But it was a lot of politics this episode. Well, not a lot, but it was a little bit of politics this episode. We got to see that the world in the glass is half full and half empty when it comes to Inika. And we see that both sides really want her for their own particular reasons. But let's be real, she'd be better off going to the Fire Force side. Let's be real. Let's be 100%. But overall, man, it was a fantastic episode. And it ended on a high note because we see Shinra going ham with this dude, but he's not making a dent. This your boy Dick Incredible, man. Don't forget to smash that like button till you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life. And remember that the Fire Force is fire from the jump. This is your boy Dick Incredible. Peace out. I cannot complain because today, I'm doing my thing. I stay my lane and fight through the pain.